Is Apple taking direct aim at wireless carriers? One change announced at their big product reveal yesterday. For the first time, Apple will, as John said, finance its new iPhones without having to select a carrier should phone companies start to worry. Joining us today, Shelly Palmer is managing partner with Landmark Ventures. He joins us from Vegas. Hey, Shelly.
How are you?
Good. Did you expect this broadside against the phone companies?
You know what? I'm here at CTIA, the absolute epicenter of change in the wireless industry. All the carriers are here. All the innovation around wireless is happening here. And when Apple made that announcement yesterday, it rang loud and clear through this hall here in Las Vegas. So trust me, we weren't expecting it. I think it's fantastic. And I bet if you ask the carriers, they're going to think it's fantastic too.
So you think the carriers are going to like it, Shelly? I mean, it seems to me it really helps consumers. The issue with carriers, for the big ones, the AT&Ts and Verizons anyway, is it's a little bit less of a connection that you have to the carrier because, granted, they weren't into subsidizing the phones anyway, but they were into these installment plans, and their installment plans had a few more strings attached than Apple's. Why do you think it's good for them?
Look, at the end of the day, the carriers offer you connectivity, and they're getting ready. If you look at what Verizon just did with AOL and how they're thinking about the mobile business and content, how Verizon's actually looking into the future, the idea of subsidizing your handset is like not that important to any of the things they're trying to do. And while, yes, it does connect you to the carrier, it's also a source of immense friction. When you think about it, your phone contract's not up, you can't quite make the upgrade, so this takes all of that out of there and puts it on Apple, which is great. The good news for the carriers is that now they can concentrate on the highest end of the market where Apple totally lives in providing fantastic services. And truthfully, there's going to be some immense competition between Apple writ large, the company strategically, and the carriers because Apple wants to sell advertising. Apple, their TV announcement was mind-blowing. If you look at what they did with Apple TV yesterday, they've laid out their entire strategy. We're going to have a bunch of apps for television that are going to change the television experience. By the way, Verizon's trying to do that. By the way, AT&T is trying to do that. By the way, everybody is trying to do that. So there are points of competition. I actually don't think the handset announcement from Apple is anything but good.
Hey, Shelly, in terms of subsidies and the way the subsidies are loosening or maybe even going away completely when it comes to these phones, will it be like we've all been in the Matrix and we aren't aware of how much these devices cost, and then once we see their face value, we'll go through some sort of sticker shock and go to lower margin products?
In practice, it doesn't matter. Apple very clearly decided they are looking at the very top end of the market or those who aspire to be at the top end of the market. This separates them from the pack. It's given them all of the best advertisers. It's given them all of the best of everything. You look at a company like Xiaomi, who's taken the entire bottom of the market, and they're coming strong. The places that you're going to see problems is in the middle. Like everyone who's making a mid-level smartphone, consumers don't care. They just want the phone that's right for them. So whether it's a low-cost phone from a Xiaomi or a low-end provider of handsets, or it's the aspirational Apple product, consumers aren't going to care about the cost as long as they can afford it. And to be fair, Apple isn't a need-to-have product. It's a aspirational want to have product. So Apple's done a great job, and I did hear just earlier in the show, you guys were talking about, well, these Apple events have become caricatures of themselves, and they're sort of like, yeah, I'm making a big announcement. Tim Cook got on stage and said something that's really true yesterday. This is the best phone ever made in the history of phones. I'm going to tell you something. It may be an iterative change, but from those small iterations, they laid out their strategy, which is they are going to make an end-to-end world where you are in an Apple prison, as beautiful as that prison is, and they're going to keep you there as long as they can. And part of that is making sure you're in the right phone with the right capabilities at the right time. Good for them.
Yeah. Some people are asking, when do we stop calling it a phone, since you hardly talk on it anymore? Shelly, thanks.
It isn't a phone.
Shelly Palmer of Landmark Ventures out in Vegas. Shelly, always good to see you. Thanks again.